Welcome to the next episode of Movies to Smoke Weed To. On this episode, we're going to be looking at Rocky 1 through 4. I'm only going to acknowledge the first 4 Rocky movies because everything after that is pure shit. That includes Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed, and Creed 2. Those movies don't count. Rocky 1 through 4, masterpiece. Before we get too deep, let's go ahead, start a smoke break, load up your weapon of choice, take a big ol' rip. Okay, great. Now that we're all high, let's begin.
Sure.
Alright, 1979, Sylvester Stallone plays Rocky, a guy who loves spaghetti. He also loves boxing, dark rooms, dirty apartments, and punching meat. Rocky is given the opportunity to fight the guy from Creed. He accepts and almost beats him. He goes 12 rounds and gets the fucking shit beat out of him. Rocky 2 is almost the same as Rocky 1. It's basically the same movie, except for this time the guy from Creed really wants to fight Rocky because everyone says, you're a bitch. And then he says, I don't want to be a bitch, so I'll fight Rocky again. Except this time when he fights Rocky, he gets his fucking ass kicked. Rocky becomes the champ, and that's about it. Rocky 3, this one I think is underrated. I feel like it's Rocky 4 is the one that always stands out as the best, which I would probably say is true. But this one I feel like is number 2. And this one, Rocky is a champ. He's been the champ for a while now. In the opening scene, he wrestles Hulk Hogan. I think this is before the Hulk Hogan porno and the racist stuff, but after the Andre the Giant Slam, somewhere in this time period. But also during the filming of Hogan Knows Best. So Rocky gets slammed by Hulk Hogan, and he shits everywhere. Everyone says, Rocky, you're a real cool guy now. And then now Rocky has a lot of money, and he has a cool house, and they have a fucking robot, and Adrian's brother Paulie lives with them or some shit. Paulie fucks the robot, but that's on the Blu-ray. You have to buy the Blu-ray to see the scene where Paulie fucks the robot. Mr. T is in this one. He comes up to Rocky and says, hey Rocky, you're a bitch. And Rocky says, what? And he says, you heard me, you're a bitch. And Rocky says, okay. Rocky's trainer, Nick, says, Rocky, don't fight him. He's got a fucking mohawk and some other weird shit on his head. And Rocky's like, hey Nick, fuck you. I'm gonna fight his fucking ass. And I'm gonna beat him up. And then so they're like, they set up the fight with Mr. T. And Mr. T says, dead meat. And so then Rocky says, what? And then they get in the ring, and Mr. T beats the piss and shit out of him, and Rocky pisses and shits all over the place. And while he's laying on the ground, pooped and shitted out, Mr. T comes up to him and says, I pity the fool. And then cut scene to the next scene where Rocky's all fucking hurting and beat up afterwards, and he's like, holy shit, Nick, you're right. He beat the fuck out of me. And Nick's like, yo, motherfucker, I told you so. And so he gives him a shot in his ass and says, go do a bunch of push-ups. Rocky goes and does a lot of shit. He fucking talks to Apollo Creed, and Apollo Creed's like, yo, dumbass, you gotta fight like a brother. And he's like, what? He's like, you gotta get your fucking spaghetti uncoordinated having ass out there and learn how to fucking move. No, I'm fucking uncoordinated as fuck. All I do is eat spaghetti all day and fucking punch logs of meat. So Apollo Creed's like, alright bitch, I'm gonna teach you how to fight. And then so he helps Rocky. So they were rivals, now they're friends. They have a foot race on the beach, and eventually Rocky gets faster than Apollo Creed, which means he's ready to fucking rematch Clubber Lang. And this time Rocky's a little harder than before. Everyone was like, yo Rocky, you're soft as fuck. But now he's like, not anymore. I'm harder as shit. I'm harder than fuck. And they're like, alright. Rocky 3 starts, and they do the rematch, and they fight a lot, and everyone's like, go Rocky, go. And some people are like, get him, Clubber Lang, you bad. And he's like, dead meat. And they beat the piss out of each other pretty good, but I think it's like Rocky's doing the old rope-a-dope to Clubber Lang at times. He's taking some to give some, and he's letting Clubber Lang get tired and shit, and then eventually he just comes back, and Nick and Paulie are like talking in the corner and stuff, and actually I think Nick's dead at this point. Did Nick die in this one, or was it the fourth? See, what else you don't realize is I watched all 4 of these movies in one sitting, so my brain is fucking fettuccine Alfredo right now. All I can think about is fucking Ferraris and gold chains, pizza and meatballs, and boxing, yeah, boxing. Anyway, Rocky beats the fuck out of Clubber Lang, and he's like, "Hey, yo, Clubber Lang, I pity the fool to you now." And then Clubber Lang's like, "God damn it." And that's the end of the movie. Onward, Rocky 4. Rocky and Apollo are best friends, and Apollo's like, keeps talking about some bullshit about, "Oh, Rocky, I'm old, we're old," or something, or maybe Rocky keeps saying that. He's like, yo, Apollo, we're old. We need to hang it up. We ain't got time for this shit. And Apollo's like, shut the fuck up, and he wants to fight this Russian guy. Apollo Creed boxes Drago, and Drago beats the shit out of him until he's dead. So he's dead, and then I think he punches Rocky. Everyone jumps in the ring, and they're like, no. And then Rocky's like, alright, fuck. He killed Apollo. Nick died in the last movie, and now Apollo's dead? Shit. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of Drago. And Drago's played by Dolph Lundgren, who you may know as He-Man, or not RoboCop, but like Cyborg Cop or some shit with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Anyway, they agree to fight in Russia, and Rocky's like, I'm going to Russia. And then so he goes to Russia, and there's a big famous training montage where he runs through the snow. He gets drug around by wolves. He eats wood, farts into a fire. He pisses into his own mouth. He punches his nuts until they're black. He lifts up a car with his dick. Someone shoots him with a gun. Someone runs him over with the car. Someone farts in his mouth. He's beaten with fish. A dog bites his ass. He's waterboarded with diarrhea. And then after all that, he's finally ready. But while he's been doing all this dumb shit in Russia, Drago's been hooked up to a goddamn exercise bike, pedaling his ass off. So he's in like a fucking high school gym, running laps, throwing kickballs, shooting hoops, tossing a football, playing double dutch, dominating foursquare, putting it down on badminton, drinking milk, taking vitamins, and after all that, he feels like he's ready to fight Rocky. And it starts out, they fight and beat the shit out of each other, and Rocky wins, and then he gives a really good speech, and he says, "Yo, Adrian, I did it." And that's the end of the movie. So if you haven't seen these movies already, I would recommend packing up a big fatty, torching it, and watching all 4 of them at once. It's the only way to do it. And be sure not to watch Rocky 5, which came out in 1990. It's a piece of shit.